Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Stephen, and I'm your teacher Srishti. Today I'm going to teach you about class 12th biology topic molecular basis of inheritance, and this is part 2 of the video continuous series. Now I'm going to confess a mistake of mine that in previous lecture maybe my voice is being so much cracky or there is some noise from behind. I'm really sorry for that. I'm apologizing for that, so kindly accept my apology. So today we are going to talk about the DNA structure that is in eukaryotes. In previous lecture I have covered the topic about the type of the genetic material, that they are DNA and RNA, and further I told you about the structure of a DNA, a little bit information about that, how it looks, that it looks double helical, RNAs look single helical, and just a little brief introduction of the chapter I have provided you. Now we are going to start basically start with the DNA structure in the eukaryotes. So DNA structure in eukaryote is basically linear. What do you mean by linear? Linear means it is in line and basically a straight line. So it is somewhat like this. It is in proper lining. Okay, so if we talk about the mitochondria and the plasmids, these are the basically two organelles that are found in eukaryotes that have their own self DNA. Plastid is basically the organelle that is found in the plants. They are of the three types. They provide color to the various parts of the plant. That are the basics that you may have done in your previous classes, like 10th, 9th. You must be clear about that concept. So I'm not going to provide a detailed introduction about the plastids. That's another topic, so left it. Now I have drawn the structure of the mitochondria. So inside the mitochondria, that the black spores, now I'm drawing it with the yellow, you are able to see is basically the nucleus. Is the DNA. How can I talk about a nucleus? Mitochondria doesn't have nucleus. Cell have a nucleus. So it is basically a DNA. So the DNA here is basically circular in shape. Now, a very much interesting fact that I have written here is that DNA content in a species is nearly constant in all cells of an organism, but it double at the time of division. It is very clear concept that if I talk about a species, let it be the humans, that are the species of the Homo sapiens, all the persons have the same content of a DNA in their body or in an organism, but the DNA content differs throughout the life only in the one phase, that is the phase of the division. As in this phase the DNA doubles, it becomes diploid from haploid. You must be clear with the concept of diploid and haploid. It is very basic concept and you should be clear about it. So diploid means 2n and haploid means n. So basically diploid is formed from haploid. It is a very basic concept, you must be knowing about it. Now if I move forward, I've saved it in my draft so that next time if I want to teach the same concept or some clarity, I could just talking about. Let it be. Now here I have drawn the mitochondrial DNA. Now if you see it clearly, it looks somewhat like the DNA of prokaryotes. So it is a fun fact that the prokaryotes and mitochondria have a similar kind of a DNA, that is basically circular in shape. So now I am going to talk about the prokaryotic DNA, eukaryotic DNA. I have covered it all. So prokaryotic DNA looks similar to the DNA of the organelles, that is basically it is circular in shape. Now The DNA of the prokaryotes is known as the nucleoid. Why it is called as nucleoid? Because the DNA here is naked. What do you mean by naked? Naked means it is not surrounded by a nuclear membrane. It's just like as it is in the cytoplasm. It doesn't have any covering over it. Now, the next term that we are going to talk about in the prokaryotes is the plasmids. So, the plasmid is basically extra chromosomal DNA. If I talk the name of it, that is extra chromosomal DNA. So, the word extra indicates that it is the extra product. It is a product of a chromosomal DNA, but it is extra. It is not of so much use. Its only and only use is that it is the coded with the genes that provide antibiotic resistance. So this helps the bacteria to resist the antibiotics and to live long against the antibiotics. But even if a bacteria doesn't contain it, it wouldn't inhibit its growth. It wouldn't interrupt its growth. It is just that it would not be able to be the resistant to the antibiotic and would fall in the trap of that and would be killed by any antibiotic. It's just the difference between both of them is simple and simply that the plasmid is the one that provides the extra chromosomal DNA that provide resistance from the antibiotics. Even if it is not there in the bacteria, it wouldn't die. It wouldn't cause any interruption in the life cycle of it. It would continue its life cycle as it is, but it would be on resistance of the antibiotics and would die because of that. Now I have drawn the structure of the bacteria. You can see here it is a chromosome. These are basically the plasmids and this is the nucleoid. This chromosome is the one that condenses and forms circular loops that it converts into this. And the plasmid's function, I told you, nucleoid. Why it is called nucleoid? Because it is naked, it is not surrounded by the nuclear membrane. I taught a singular thing many a time and I hope you are clear with it. So this is a quick short video about the occurrence of the DNA. In next video we are going to talk about the structure of DNA, how DNA is being formed. So be prepared. If you like this video, please press the thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You also press the black bell icon so that you should never miss an update from my YouTube channel. Thank you.